And welcome back, everybody, to not a live reaction. Actually, we are just coming up live here just to kind of talk about some stuff that's happened on the channel, as well as talking about a little bit of news. We're just kind of hanging out a little bit just before the Monday night games start. This thing is literally going to be 15 to maybe half an hour, depending on if we get some people in here, but it's going to be short and sweet. And then we're going to get ready to stream the Bengals and Broncos that starts at around 7:15 Central Time. So yeah, just going live just to kind of talk about a small thing, but an important thing on the channel, and that is that we succeeded in our goal. The goal that I had when I started streaming this season, the NFL season, I should say, was to try to get to 100 subscribers, and we more than did that, man. We are at 102. We crossed the line yesterday, man. So that's a credit to you guys. Thank you so much. You can probably hear it in my voice. There was a lot of talking, a lot of yelling yesterday. We did 3 games, a lot of scoring, a lot of wild stuff. Uh, and we'll talk about the Packer game and the Cowboys game just a little bit. I'm actually gonna try to see if I can get a video out later this week. Probably, hopefully, filming it tomorrow, if not tonight, and then trying to get it out by Wednesday. That's kind of the goal, if not by hopefully by Thursday. But yeah, man, just kind of hanging out, man. I know it's kind of impromptu. It was a couple hours ago, but yeah, man, I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out. What happened over the weekend as well, man? We got some big news in the NFL. Unfortunately, not a lot of great news when it comes to injuries. We'll talk about those. And yeah, we're just gonna hang out. So welcome if you're here. I appreciate you. Thank you. But yeah, let's. Obviously, it's the name of the stream and it's the thumbnail. But yeah, man, we got 100 subscribers over the weekend. Uh, it's been something that I've been looking, basically a goal that I've been looking forward to and trying to get to since basically I started the channel. I knew that number was going to be significant. It was something that it was just like a mental, 100 is a very like satisfying number. It kind of goes back to that George Carlin joke where the top 10, the top 100, whatever. It's a very satisfying number mentally for people. But it's something that shows that there is interest not only in what I'm doing here on the channel, but there's interest in this giant head that you see floating in front of you now. Um, and trust me, that like I don't do much. I talk about sports. I break down the game or just talk about the game. And people find it entertaining. People find some type of community in the chat. I mean, we get at least the same core group of people that come here almost every single week, almost every single time that we're streaming a game. And then on top of that, we also get people that kind of come in and out throughout the season, throughout the weeks. And that's significant, man. That's awesome. That's something that kind of really motivates me. It keeps me wanting to do more as this channel hopefully grows, and the more I'm able to put into it, and the more hopefully that people, not just me, but people can get out of it as well. So yeah, there aren't many things, especially nowadays. Maybe we're a little too close to life and just kind of being lost in it, but there's very few things in life that can, I don't want to say be kept as pure as just hanging out, talking about sport, and just kind of getting to know each other. That doesn't seem to be a super extremely common thing, especially on the internet. It tends to you kind of tend to keep a faceless uh, like a sea of people, and yeah, you don't really keep meeting each other. It's a very quick passing thing, and yeah, but we like I said, we do 5 games a week. You see me quite a bit. You see a lot of the same people on the chat, and we get to know each other. We create some type of connection, whether it may not be as personal and I don't want to say meaningful, but maybe not as consistent as maybe meeting in person. But it's still pretty. I mean, when you're able to hang out with a person or a group of people for 3 hours, even just 3 hours a week is quite a bit. But we do about 18 hours worth of streaming on the channel, and like I said, there's a lot of the same people that come through. That's a lot of time to spend with people every single week, man, and it's impactful. So it means a lot to me, and hopefully I can at least entertain you for those 18 hours. I hope that's been the case. But yeah, man, 100 subscribers. Obviously, the first batch of subscribers came through literally, I think, September 28th, 2024 was the first time I got a bunch of subscribers. That was when Tom Grassi, shout out to Tom, shout out to the Grassi Posse. He rated my stream. I think it was, I'm trying to remember what freaking stream it was, man. But yeah, it was late September, basically almost a year to the day that I got my first subscribers. I think initially I had like somewhere in the 70s, and then I think like a day or two later, I think some people were like, "Oh, this guy doesn't post a bunch of stuff every single day," and then it dropped down to somewhere like in the mid 50s, which when I saw it, I was like, oh. But it was kind of funny. I was like, yeah, I get it. At the time, I think I was only doing 4 games or maybe 3 games in a week. So there was not as much football content. There wasn't as much streaming, and just yeah, I think that was even before I started doing the power rankings throughout that week. And we will be getting to some power rankings this season. I just early in the season, especially in September, it's like there's gonna be so much fluctuation. I'm like I want to be able to see what these teams are gonna be heading into October. So we'll be doing some power rankings. I don't know if we'll do it every week, but it'll be at least every other week, something like that. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think here. Where was I? Yeah, talking about Tom and kind of helping this channel out immensely by getting the first couple subscribers that came through, and that was the first introduction that I had to, uh, having an audience. Really, like the first 2.5 weeks, there was really nobody. Nobody really hit up the chat, I think, and I would always consistently see, one person viewing, and then it would go down to zero, or two or three, and then it would just go down to zero. But that really never changed the way I talk or was streaming. Like as you probably know, especially if you're a regular, I like to kind of the way I like to do the streaming about the games is basically as if you were listening to a radio broadcast. To me, I think radio broadcasts are always are actually the best. As much as I like Al Michaels, um, uh, I'm even a fan of oh my god, I'm blanking on their names right now, but yeah, like Jim Nance is another example. Like there's great characters, great commentators on TV, but the skill that you have to have at the level in terms of radio is, I think the quality is better and it's underrated, because you have to typically you have to describe what is happening on the field to the person that may not have a TV with them. That's why they're typically listening on radio. Um, so yeah, that's why I kind of talk about where's the quarterback? Is he in the shotgun under center? Where's the running back? Where are his receivers? Maybe I highlight what the defense is doing. Are they showing pressure? What down is it? I'm trying to give you a better idea of what is going on. And on top of that, I think that now, and I know some people that are watching me are typically watching the game, but I think it also gives you an idea of look at the consistency. It's so easy to kind of get lost when you're watching the game, to get lost in what the commentators are talking about that is not actually going on in the game. And sometimes they're talking about what Tom Brady's opinion is on something else that has nothing to do with what's happening on this drive, on this game. And then on top of that, commercials, the amount of times that the camera is on the sidelines talking about just some storyline that once again doesn't really have too much of a bearing. Like last night, how many times did we see Jerry Jones on the screen for like anywhere between 3 to 10 seconds? And like, yeah, we get it. Like Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, yes, he traded away Micah Parsons. That was a big storyline heading into that game. But the fact that he was on the screen for, it felt like a total of like 12 minutes throughout that 4-hour broadcast I was like, he's not playing, he's not coaching, he's not doing any of this. So that way, the way I describe it is I'm typically trying to focus as much on the game as possible. And yeah, like the chat is a big part of it. The chat, I think, adds so much to the stream. It keeps me from being kind of bland. It also keeps there's a lot of stops in football, man. It is not like soccer or some other sports that just kind of keep on going. There's a lot of downtime, and I think the chat has done an incredible job. The more we grow, the more people get comfortable in the chat. I think it just tends to grow the stream quite a bit more as we kind of go along, and it's awesome, man. I appreciate it. The amount of people that we get in the chat consistently that just love to kind of fool around and also tend to talk about the game as well, man. They are so focused, and it's amazing. But yeah, that's what I try to bring when I do these streams, when I'm talking about the games. It's not simply just kind of, hey, you're gonna watch me just kind of sit and eat, potato chips and watch football. I try to give you guys something that is not only entertaining, but hopefully you can kind of see the rhythm of the game as it goes along as I'm describing it. You start to see the quarterback. Maybe why are they going in the shotgun so often? Well, the situation calls for it. You start to see the receiver being highlighted more. It's a catch there. He's caught a couple passes on this drive. Maybe he's being featured. Things like that. So, yeah, all those things kind of go into my brain as I'm trying to describe what's going on throughout the game. And yeah, it's fun, man. It's a challenge. I'm not perfect by any means, and this is more of a criticism of myself. Yeah, man, it's gonna get better and better. And just like the stream, man, the scoreboards were not there the first couple of weeks, but then slowly they were being added, and I think now they're a little bit more attractive. And when it comes to that, they're not as flat and things like that. So I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I can give you about as close of an experience to watching the game without getting the channel demonetized or taken down by showing the broadcast. So yeah, hopefully that is getting better for you guys, and let me know. I mean, yeah, you guys are the ones spending time and watching me. Please don't be afraid to put your input in there as well. So let me see here. What else? Oh yeah, let's but yeah, the 100 subscribers, man. It was such a big thing for me. It was awesome to see it. I weirdly enough, I didn't ever feel like we were not gonna make it, but I was like, man, dude, is this really gonna happen? And yeah, man, yesterday, man, it came through, and I'm happy about it. It was awesome, man. It's a small thing, but it means a lot. So thank you. All right. So I think I spent about 13 minutes talking about that. So that's probably way too much time. So let's talk about football, man. All right, we're gonna do a couple minutes here, probably like 10 minutes of kind of catching up on what happened around the league over this past weekend, and then we'll kind of go from there, and then we'll probably head out, and then I'm gonna try to get ready for Bengals Broncos, man. All right. So obviously, one of the bigger news that I saw, and this was basically told to us yesterday, but it just needed to be confirmed with an MRI. But unfortunately, for the Giants, Malik Neighbors, their number one wide receiver, in his second year, he is going to be out for the rest of the season. He has torn his ACL, as a MRI confirmed earlier today. So an unfortunate thing, man, for a squad that is coming into the season. There was not high expectations. The Giants were expected to be a bottom 5 to for sure bottom 10 team, and they were going to probably be drafting relatively high. But there was optimism that there could be something, because they drafted Jackson Dart. Malik Neighbors was a guy that people were really excited about. He had actually a really solid rookie year, and they were just hoping to see the progression of that. And obviously, Jackson Dart got his first start yesterday, I should say, replacing the ineffective Russell Wilson, and that was going to be a huge thing. I was like, oh, they got the young quarterback, they got the young receiver, they also got Cam Skedaboo, who was making his first career start, even though he's played the last couple of weeks, but now with Tyrone Tracy out for 3 to a month with a dislocated shoulder. Skedaboo showed a lot of promise last week, and he's been fairly effective and versatile for the Giants. And he was about to get his first start, and so you're like, man, they got the running back, they got the quarterback, they got the receiver. They're all young. They all have shown flashes of talent. Now they're going to be able to put it together, right? Hopefully, even if it's not a winning season or anything significant, at least if they show progression and they show cohesion, the Giants, I think Giants fans would be okay with that. They'd be like, all right, this is the season to show what we have in the future, and then 2026 could be having a little bit more of an expectation. But unfortunately, Malik Neighbors torn ACL. He's going to be out for the year. But the silver lining is that since it happened so early, he should be healthy enough by training camp, by summer's end. Uh, Basically, he should be ready to go, and they don't have to play this game kind of what the Packers are doing with. My God, holy cow, man! I'm blanking on his name. Wow. Sorry, guys. Man, I woke up a little bit later than I usually do. I don't know if it was the game or the the alcohol, but my goodness, man, it was a rough start to the morning. But yeah, but anyway, I'm gonna keep on moving on here. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, Malik Neighbors injured. He's gonna be out for the year, but he should be back in time to start the year for the Giants. And hopefully, Jackson Dart by that time has kind of worked out some of the bigger growing pains of his early career for the Giants. And another injury uh, to a pretty significant name who's also going to be out for the year, and this is for the Ravens. No, it is not Lamar Jackson. There has actually been no update on Lamar. But the Ravens are going to be losing Metabike, one of their top defensive players. He's going to be out for the year. And I'm trying to look up the specific injury, but yeah, there was like almost no detail on with a neck injury. There we go. So Namdi Metabike, who's been a pretty darn good player for the Ravens since they picked him up from Texas A&M back in 2020. Um, the issue, especially with a neck injury, man, you just don't know what kind of effect that is going to be on his future. We've seen a lot of guys get injured, like Nick Collins for the Packers. Man, unfortunately, after his neck injury, he never played again. Um, you go back all the way to Sterling Sharp for the Packers. Once again, another guy who was on a Hall of Fame trajectory, injured, neck injury, cut his career short. Um, Granted, we've seen guys make comebacks, especially when it hasn't been as serious. But typically, they say that the higher the neck, the higher the injury to the neck, the the less likely they are to come back. It just the the exposure, the likelihood of that area being injured again is very high. So, yeah. So, unfortunately for Metabike, his season will be cut short. He's been placed on IR as of this morning. And yeah, the Ravens, who are just coming off I don't even want to say disappointing, just an absolutely devastating loss to the Chiefs, man, 37-20. A team that the Ravens had expected to finally overcome. I think the last couple of years, that's usually been the story. It's been the Bills, Ravens, and Chiefs. Those have been the top three teams in the AFC that have really been looked as the premier teams in that AFC for the last couple of years. And the Ravens, they thought, hey, last year was going to be our chance. They couldn't get it done against the Bills, but then this year, everybody's healthy, everybody's looking good. They're a year into each other. Derrick Henry's in his second year. Lamar has learned more, and you're starting to put these weapons in there, and it has just been not what the Ravens have expected, man. And it was looking great through the first three quarters in week one, and then it just fell apart once the Bills got there. Yes, they bounced back to win, I think, in week two, but then it just has not progressed, man, and they seem to be regressing. Lamar seems to be frustrated. He seems to be trying to do as much as he can, but the surrounding cast around him has just not been able to be on the same page and not be just haven't been able to take advantage of the experience and the weapons that they have. And on top of that, the defense has been borderline horrendous at times. That secondary, they added Jair Alexander. He did not play well in week one, and especially in the second half. And then he also has been dealing with injuries. I don't even know if he's been back, to be completely honest with you. I know he was been gone for the last 2 weeks. I don't know if he was healthy enough to play this week. But yeah, man, it's been a rough one for Ravens fans. 1-3, definitely not what you were expecting when you have a two-time MVP at quarterback in a borderline, actually not probably not borderline, a future Hall of Famer at running back with some pretty darn good weapons uh, at the receiver position, at the tight end position, and then you invested a lot in that offensive line as well, and it just has not worked. So so that's another injury update there. Metabike out for the year. After that, man, the weirdly enough, man, the Browns have, I think. Oh, actually, no. Brock Purdy. Sorry, we're staying on the injuries here. Brock Purdy looks like he's re-aggravated that toe that made him miss a couple weeks. His status is kind of up in the air. So we're not exactly sure if he's gonna be playing this this next week coming up. So that's another one there, man. But yeah, we're gonna finish this off with talking about the Packers really quickly. Obviously, that defense did not play well at all. They looked good for the first quarter, and then it was just a struggle the rest of the way, just giving up massive chunks of yardage, especially through the air. The secondary, I said it. I said it before the season kind of started, or actually during the first game of the Packers. I was questioning what was going on with the secondary. They had reworked the safety room last year, and it looked like it had improved, but the amount of of changes in that secondary, especially to the corners, was a lot more subtractions than there were additions. They didn't draft anybody in 2025 until I think the seventh or sixth round, and then they lost Jair, who was their number one corner by without question. And then Carrington Valentine, it looked like he was good week one, and then has just regressed over the last 2 weeks. I don't know if it's injury, I don't know if it's a scheme thing or something else, but yeah, there was a reason why he was benched before last night. And then Nate Hobbs had a really, really rough game. I think he also picked up a little bit of a small injury there. But yeah, when they put Carrington Valentine in there, it did not get better. Keyshawn Nixon was pretty solid in spots, but then towards the end of the game, I don't know if they were tired. They probably were. They were on the field for quite a bit. But yeah, man, that Packers secondary was rough. And then after that, there was almost no consistent pressure. I think when they were looking at the tape, I think Micah finished with 10 pressures, whether, depending on who you talk to, if you go with Pro Sports or you go with somebody else, it was anywhere between 7 to 10 pressures. He did get a sack, though there is a question of whether that should have been considered a sack. It's kind of iffy. I think the NFL was more than happy to kind of say, yeah, he got a sack, and then just move on. There might be a question on that one for sure, but it makes good TV for the NFL, so I think they'll just let it go. But yeah, man, outside of Micah, man, Rashawn Gary struggled to get any kind of pressure against an offensive line that has shown throughout the season that they're not dominant in pass pro. I think they're a lot better in terms of a offensive line. But yeah, man, Lucas Van Ness kind of disappeared. It's been probably the first game this season where he has looked like the quote unquote disappointing player that he was a season ago. And yeah, man, just there was no pressure. Unfortunately, Devontae Wyatt was injured early in that game, and I think that did not help, especially against the run later in that game when the Cowboys were just beginning to get not just chunks through the air, but they were starting to get chunks on the ground as well with Javonte Williams, who has had a freaking pretty dang good start to his Dallas Cowboy career. I think he's already matched as many touchdowns as he had last year with the Broncos as their kind of number one, number two back. So yeah, Javonte, pretty darn good running back in the NFL right now. And then finally, I think the other thing that is a concerning thing for the Packers is that their special teams. Obviously, they got another block kick and ended up costing them basically as a 3-point swing. Instead of getting an extra point to make it 14-0, it got blocked, kept it at 13, but then the Cowboys were able to return it for 2. And when you look at it, the way the game ended, those 3 points, the Packers, they could have used that extra point, and obviously the 2 points that Dallas wouldn't have had if they wouldn't have blocked the extra point. So, yeah, man, it just all matters. This is their second field goal blocked in as many weeks. And then on top of that, towards the end of the game, when they were kicking off to the Cowboys, each of the Cowboys, two or three returns got them basically past the 35 and well into the 40 to the 45, basically at midfield, to start their last couple drives. And that is Rich Bisaccia. He is the highest paid special teams coach, I think, still in the NFL. And then on top of that, he's been around the Packers for a while now. Like, this is what, year 4? Because he was there when Rodgers was still there. So yeah, this is year 4 for Rich Bisaccia. Like, you should not be having these kinds of issues. Yar, David, what's going on, brother? Welcome, welcome, man. I appreciate you being here, man. But yeah, man, Rich Bisaccia is, I think I don't want to say the seat is getting hot by any means. I think that's too dramatic, man. But it's something that I think Matt LaFleur and that entire coaching staff need to fix over the bye week, man. Because that is, you're not going to win. You're not going to win a Super Bowl. You're probably not even going to win 1 or 2 playoff games playing like that. Defensively and special teams, it's not good enough. I was just now able to join. All good, my dude. All good. Yeah, this is kind of supplementary, man. We're just hanging out for a couple minutes. I think the first Monday night game is going to start here in a couple minutes, but we're going to be streaming Cincinnati, Denver in about an hour. But yeah, man. Yeah, so we're just hanging out, man. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How's your Monday going, bro? Also, how'd you sleep, man? It was probably a late night for you. Trying to think here, but yeah. But the silver lining for the Packers, man, I think it showed that when they need to, the Packers offense can put up points. That was like the one thing that during the Rodgers era, especially when they didn't have a good defense or even a good special teams, Rodgers was always able to kind of will his team there to have a chance at the end to either win the game or almost win the game. And this is something that I've known for a while. And I know this summer there was always like talks of like, is Jordan Love really a franchise quarterback? Is he really one of the elites? Yes, he is. Is he as consistent as Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, or Aaron Rodgers, or even Drew Brees when they were at their prime? No, not yet. But it's also a different era. But at the same time, Jordan Love he's barely 27 years old in his 3rd year as a starter, even though it's technically his 6th season in the NFL. Like, when you look at Aaron Rodgers, man, look at that first half of 2010. That was the year that they won the Super Bowl. And that was the year before he won his first MVP. Rodgers was not necessarily on pace to be a MVP in 2010. There was no talks of Aaron Rodgers being the NFL MVP in 2010. But guess what? It came slowly. They were a pretty average team to start 2010, but he progressed. He got better. He started, and it just became better and better as the season went on. And then the Rodgers that we know now as the future Hall of Famer, first ballot, 4-time MVP, that guy didn't show up until the playoffs. And to be honest with you, he didn't really play that well against the Chicago Bears in the NFC Championship game. But ever since then, Rodgers became that guy. This is the year for Jordan Love. And to me, he has shown a lot to show that he is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL. And he just went toe-to-toe with Dak Prescott, a guy that almost since he's been in the league, has been talked about as one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Like, he won Rookie of the Year. And damn, dude, like, yeah, he went toe-to-toe with him. And every single time Jordan Love's defense let him down, he came back and responded the same way with a touchdown, with a great drive, and they were there at the end. Did he mess up the timing there in overtime? Yeah. But that's also a Matt LaFleur thing. He's a coach. That's something that they got to get fixed. But damn, dude, Jordan Love he went toe-to-toe with a guy that is considered a potential future Hall of Famer. and also the highest paid player in NFL history in Dak Prescott, and he went toe to toe with him. So didn't sleep right away. One of my interminable power supply surge protector battery backup decided to die last night, so I got a replacement after work. Oh, okay. Hey, there we go. Dang, dude, I'm sorry about that, man. Hopefully everybody's okay. Hopefully all the devices are okay. Yeah, man, sorry about that, dude. Dak still looked just as good or better last night, in my opinion. Yeah, no. Yeah, Dak he's always been a solid quarterback. I mean, he's always been a great quarterback. I think there are games where it's just like boneheaded decisions. I think he tries to, maybe he trusts himself or his arm or maybe his own players too much. But I think when you look at his career, I mean, that's a Hall of Fame career trajectory for Dak Prescott. And I'm not going to compare Jordan Love to Dak. I'm not going to compare Jordan to Rodgers because there's a lot of years that he has to go before we can start talking about that, in my opinion. But I think Jordan has proven um, that he can play not only at the elite level, but he can sustain that not just for a game, but for weeks on end. And he's still learning. He's still going to have his dips, just like Rodgers did in his third year as a starter slash sixth year in the NFL back in 2010. And I'm not saying these Packers or Jordan Love are going to win a Super Bowl. I know that's the narrative of like Bart Starr won it when he was 27. Brett Favre did it. Aaron Rodgers. I I, I get the comparisons, and it'd be awesome if it did. That'd be hilarious. But um, to me, I've always looked at it as if I'm gonna be like I've been a Packer fan since I can remember. Man, we've had great quarterbacks, and I think I talked about this before. Would it be awesome to win multiple Super Bowls? Absolutely. Would it be awesome to win a Super Bowl? Absolutely. But if Jordan Love, all he can give us is great games for the next 12 to 15 years, and maybe gets a Super Bowl, I'm okay with that. Like literally, like I am okay with that. That's not an issue to me. Like that's gonna make my Sundays during the fall slash winter even better. For 15 years, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take being happy about football for 80 to 85% of the next 15 years. Yeah, I'll take that. So yeah, but that was a silver lining, man. The offense looked good. The receivers looked good. The tight ends, the offensive line only gave up a sack. They were giving up a lot of pressure, and I don't take back what I said. When you look at when they're running the ball or they're passing, that offensive line is just getting moved around, man. It's not good. I think the offensive line is the weakest point of the Packers right now. I know they're dealing with injuries. I know they're gonna hopefully get some of these guys back after the bye, but yeah, man, that's something they gotta do something about that because it's gonna be rough. Because you can't expect Jordan Love to throw for 400 yards and just sling the ball as he did last night every single week. Could he? Maybe, but you don't want to rely on that. David, yeah, but high pay in the NFL doesn't mean you have talent. See Tua. Oof. Ouch, man. I think that you gotta be careful, man. If you hit Tua too hard with that, man, he might get another concussion. Oh, dude, that was mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, but yeah, man. No, absolutely not. Yeah, like, is Dak worth $60 million? Is he the highest? Just because he's the highest paid player of all time, does it mean that he's the greatest player of all time? No, absolutely not. But he is one of the top quarterbacks, and the market says quarterbacks of that caliber are worth 55 to $60 million, and kind of goes back to it's not what you think you're worth; it's what somebody is willing to give you. They think what you're worth. If you think, hey, I can get 60, but they're willing to give you 62. Guess what? You're worth 62. That was the best response. 10 out of 10. I'm sorry, Tua. He seems like a nice guy. I don't want to make fun of him, especially about concussions. We can make fun of him about his like weird throwing motion or that he can't play in cold weather. But yeah, that was a mean thing. Sorry, it was the sarcastic part of me, but it was a good joke though. But yeah, man. Yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on last night. I know I think when the Packers defense was like giving up a lot of plays, I was getting like I don't I get annoyed and I do get frustrated, but I understand that it's a game, and once the game is over or even after that, I was like joking around. But yeah, dude, it's just so frustrating to watch like bad football. It's so frustrating, and you've seen me get frustrated with like other teams. It's not even just the Packers. Like you've seen me play. What was it? I'm trying to remember the game that was earlier this season. Um, oh my goodness, what the heck was the game? Hold on. We have it here. Oh yeah, yeah. Atlanta and Minnesota. That game was miserable, man. And like I was borderline, and I'm not angry. It was just more of like, dude, this sucks. Like I want to see good football, man. I want to see like people challenging, not just guys slipping and falling and like that. Like George Pickens had a great freaking night. I don't want to take anything away, man. Like from him, like yeah, the Packers defenders in the secondary, they had a ugly, probably the worst night I've seen in a while. But George Pickens, man, that dude was a freaking monster, man. Like, and we've seen flashes like that when he was over there with the Steelers. So we'll see if he can continue to play like this, kind of. I think it's tough to ask any receiver to kind of put this week in and week out. But if he can play even like 85% to this level when CD comes back, yeah, then Dallas is gonna have an issue, especially if they can continue to run and pass protect like they did last night. They still have an issue with that defense. Obviously, that defense still gave up 40 points as well. But yeah, man, it's interesting. It's gonna be interesting what the Packers do. They're gonna have a bye, so no game. Hopefully they can get healthy. Hopefully they can kind of fix what's going on in that secondary. And yeah, man, Jeff Hafley's gonna have a lot to do, and Rich Bisaccia and Matt LaFleur are also gonna have a lot to do. This is why they get paid too, man. They have the players, man. The talent is there. They got a lot of first round picks on that defense. They got Micah Parsons. They got a lot of high paid players in that secondary, and then on the offense, one of the highest paid quarterbacks of all time, one of the best slash highest paid running backs in the NFL, and then they got a bunch of receivers, including a first round pick and a pretty darn good tight end, and along that offensive line, some high picks and some high paid guys. Like the Packers don't have excuses to play this kind of bad football. If this was like a 20-17 loss or 2020 um, tie, okay, hey, the offense put some points up, the defense played well, but yeah, the way the Packers played defensively, man, they looked like they were, this looked like a Dom Capers defense back towards the end of Dom Capers, not the beginning of Dom Capers. So yeah, so it was rough, man. So the Packers need to get their stuff together if they want to be serious Super Bowl contenders. But it's September, man. I don't put too much stock in September. If the Packers are playing like this in November, December, then yeah, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of of hope that they would be a Super Bowl contender. But it's September. We haven't even hit Halloween yet, man. Not even the scariest time of the year. So, yeah, man. It looks like the Dolphins put up a field goal here against the Jets, man. 2 0-3 teams on Monday night. That's a rough one. All right, guys. I'm trying to think here. Anybody in the chat? Do you guys have anything that you want my opinion on, or that you want me to talk about? I think I ran through everything that I was expecting to so far. I'm just double checking. Just double checking if I got everything that I need for the stream. We are officially rooting for the Jets. The Jets. Are you an Aaron Glenn fan or what? Oh man. Oh yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick is now with Miami too, man. I completely forgot about that too. Damn. Yeah, I wonder what's going on with Lamar, man. Uh, they said that there's no update on his injury, so we'll see what happens. No, just made the pick for the game before the season started. Literally the oh yes, of course. Heck yeah, there we go. Hey, let's go Jets. Jets, 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 Jets. Yeah, man. It's gonna be that's gonna be a game. I'm probably gonna be watching a little bit of it while I'm setting up the stream for the other game. But yeah, man, it should be a pretty decent one. Should be pretty good. Pretty good. Lamar either has a hamstring injury or feeling injury and gave up on the team. Oof. Ah man, I don't know, man. Yeah, it's you can tell, man. Lamar has been frustrated for most of the season, man, and I think part of it is he's not playing to what he feels like he needs to play to. But on top of that, I think just the team overall. Like I don't know if this is the year that John Harbaugh is it, yeah, John Harbaugh. This might be the year that is going to be kind of the first time in a long time that there's talks of him potentially moving on. Maybe the Ravens need another voice in the locker room. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what happens over there with the Ravens. Once again, it's still September, 1-3. This team is talented enough to go on a. Once again, in terms of talent, they're talented enough to be able to win, 4, 5, or 6 games in a row, and then if that happens, they're what 6-3, 7-3. Plenty of they may not win the number one seed, but they still have a really good chance at a home game in the playoffs. Have you seen what the host does when the supporting? Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I understand. And it hurts. Absolutely, man. Yeah, and Mahomes, you can tell that Mahomes has done a lot with a little at times. I think he's had a really great defense to help him out throughout the Super Bowl runs. But yeah, Mahomes is he's been able to elevate his guys, and Lamar has been able to do that every once in a while for sure. Like I don't think he's ever had a true superstar at receiver. Um, but once again, I don't. I am a guy that you don't need a true like Devonte Adams to be a good offense. I think if you have guys that are specialized and that can at least catch and be competitive at the point of the catch, I think you can work with that, and I think you can win with that. But I think Lamar um, and that offensive line, I think they need to get on the same page. I think that's what's really hurting them. So all right. All right, guys. I think that's gonna be it for the this stream here. But I will be going live in probably the next like 35 minutes, my dudes. So David, I'll see you in a bit, hopefully. Um, but yeah, because I got to get ready for the other game. I want to make sure everything's correct and right. I don't want to be, uh, I don't want to be late for that Monday night game. Um, Trust me, we've already, we already had to stay up late for one of them. I don't want to do that to people again. So hopefully this game ends in regulation. That's all I'm hoping for. All right, there we go. Okay, I will walk the dog and be back for the next stream. Let's go. Say hello to the doggos for me, man. All right, guys. I'll see you in a bit, man. Thank you once again for 100 subscribers. We're actually at 102 the last time I checked. So thank you to all of you guys. Thank you to the Grassi Posse and Tom Grassi for getting me started with subscribers literally a year ago in a day, basically to almost to the day. Um, yeah, thank you to everybody, man. Thank you to David for hanging out for a little bit, and I'll see you in a little bit, bud. But yeah, man, thank you so much, guys, and here's to another 100 and hopefully a couple hundred more after that, man. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you. Yeah, 100 subscribers, baby. Let's go.